A lot of us, man, we have lived through horrible, horrible situations. Stuff that we don't even discuss. We don't even like discussing with our own selves. We don't like thinking about it, you know. This world is already hard. This world is super duper hard. And the more that we live in it, the more that it becomes real to us that we are actually, in fact, aliens of this world. It's super hard to maneuver around this world because it's not our world. We have been bought with a huge price, and we've been taken out of this world and translated into God's marvelous light. And now we have the truth living in us, the life living in us, the breath in us, the song in us from Jesus Christ. And when we go through these things, man, and we all do it, we have this agony in our souls of, Father, take us home, take us home. This is not our home. And then over and over again, he says, remember my promises, lean on my promises, focus on me, not on the troubles. Over and over again, he gives us this hope that resides through us, and we can know we're reminded of our salvation over and over again. Salvation doesn't get old. It actually becomes more deeper for us as we get older, you know? So, I don't know. I've just been thinking about the hard things, and you know how the Bible is so true, and his words have been coming alive for generations, and they will forever be alive for generations to come. And we know that through these things that we have to endure in our lives, which brings me to Romans 8. I know a lot of us are familiar with it. Nothing can take us from the love of Christ. Not even yourself, not even me, not even yourself, not even you. Isn't that a beautiful promise to remember? You know, no demon in hell could change that. And for that we could laugh. And for that we could have like the true peace. But that's why it really is important to have one another, to lean on one another, to pray for one another, to help one another, to edify one another, to encourage one another, to hug one another. Why is it so important? Because we're not of this world, and we need each other to lean on. Ultimately, Jesus Christ, our Father, that lives in us, we can lean on him all of our days. But man, because we're human beings, and we still have to live on this earth, we need each other. And why? And what is the biggest thing that Satan tries to do is separate us. He tries to separate us. He tries to, and he'll even try to say, he'll try to make me and any other believer believe that, yes, in fact, first of all, there is boundaries that we should have for ourselves in our lives. That's true. But Satan will try to even use that to continue to have such a sore ill feeling about one another. He'll even use that. He'll even use what is healthy for us. He'll use that against us. He's relentless. I don't give him credit. He gets no credit. He's dung. Man, our Father really did have to come and do this thing. There was no other way. Gosh, there was no other way. So I'm just talking and I'm just saying, like, literally the words in Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, all of the Bible, Paul's words, Timothy's words, Titus's words, Revelation, everything's coming true. Everything has been coming true. Everything is true. You know, those words where he says, mother will come against daughter, you know, father against son, son against father, daughter against this person and that person and this person and this person and that person. Man, have I been through it. I know what it feels like to be thrown into the trash. I know that you know how it feels to be thrown in the trash. We've all been thrown one way or another. And we've all thrown people one way or another. No one is perfect. The perfection comes from our Father. But, you know, a lot of people do say, there's these gnats out here. I cannot wait till fall. A lot of people say, oh, you know, once you're saved, you'll never go through heartache. You know, this prosperity junk. Once you're saved, you'll never go through it. And if you do, it's just because you're not walking in obedience and blah, blah, blah. The obedience to faith is believing on the Lord Jesus. The obeying God is not about what you do day to day. It's about it's about what you're believing. Do you believe your Father today? Yes, I do. Well, if you believe your Father, then you need to have faith and understand that He's going to do it in your life to the day of redemption, you know? Sometimes He will, and listen, and let's just say this. Sometimes He will ask us or move us to a position where we don't feel like adequate about it. We don't feel like we are, you know, good enough to go through that certain thing that we have to go through. But He'll bring us through it because He knows that we're not, but He is, and in us, He is our strength. So there's that too. I was saying the other day, I said, Father, man, it's wild to be a Christian. It's absolutely wild. It's a wild ride. He said, yes, it is wild. It is wild. But my love will always be in your life to sustain you and to complete you and to move you wherever you go in this wild journey. It's incredible. But yeah, we're often too, Ecclesiastes says there's a time for quietness, but then there's also a time to stand up and speak the truth, you know, about these public schools and even Christian schools and all these schools and even in businesses and hospitals and all these different things. You know, you hear nurses quitting their job because they're being forced to do something that they don't want to do. These public schools, they're being forced. Those children are being brainwashed, you know. It's a time to stand in those times. But then there's a time to stand in God's peace and know that He's taking care of it. It is a wild ride. But with that being said, if you've lost family members because of Christ, listen, rejoice. Your reward is great. You haven't lost your Father. You'll never lose Him. He'll never lose you. You know, you may